If you could go back in time and see yourself at every age, would you do it? Now, I know that's a tough question to answer. Maybe you don't want to remember any of the shit you went through or the embarrassing moments or people you once knew. Maybe there's just too much future ahead to even want to look back. But see, I know for a fact that if I was given that chance, I would lunge at it. There have been many times in my life where I wish I had been told something I didn't know, and so if I could go back and tell myself all the things that I know now, I would. I would start at age 3. I would tell the younger and much smaller version of me to not be pushed around. I would tell her not to let her older brother climb on her back. If you're gonna play horsey, then you get to sit on his back. I would fast forward to 5-year-old me and tell her to climb those monkey bars, even if you need someone to hold you up, because never trying is worse than falling off. And I want to speak to whoever thought that wood chips would be a good idea to put on playgrounds because they hurt like hell when you fall on them. I would tell her that there are worse things in life than a mouthful of wood chips. I would tell her that there are worse things in which you're afraid of right now. I would tell her to not let her fear get the best of her. I would tell her to walk right up to anxiety and punch him straight in the next. I would go to 7-year-old me and I would tell her to speak up. I'd say use your voice and your words so that 10 years in the future you don't have to constantly be reminded by family members of how you never used to talk. I would go back and spend some time with 9-year-old me. I would tell her that her shaky hands are cool and that the bullies that give her mean names at school are only doing it because they don't understand it. I would tell her to hold that microphone and sing her heart out even if her voice shakes. I would make plans with 11-year-old me and tell her straight up that middle school is the farthest thing from easy. I would tell her to be friends with everybody and not worry when she's not invited to that birthday party because who needs friends like that anyway? And there will soon come a day when you'll meet your real ones. And I think 13-year-old me would need the most talking to. I would tell her that there are other ways to handle things, that depression doesn't have to be a secret you could tell somebody. I would turn to that 13-year-old girl and I would say, put the razor down, you don't need it, and you don't know it right now, but it's gonna get better. I'd say, don't do it, don't even try it, because even though you think it's a one-time thing, it can be addicting. And speaking of addicting, I would go to 15-year-old me and say, I know it's tempting, but don't start smoking things that the people who say it's not addicting are lying. It's a waste, and it will only make you more sad, and yeah, it may feel good in the moment, but it's just temporary. I would tell her to take her time when it comes to sex. I would tell her that there will be more to learn in life. I would tell her that she doesn't have to give up a part of herself just to feel whole again, and that 15 is far too young to be ready, maybe not physically, but emotionally. And I would teach her how to say no. I would tell her that it is always an option, that you are never obligated to just go with it, that you can want to be with someone and not always want them. You have a voice, use it. And lastly, I would speak with 16-year-old me. I would tell her to hug the one she loves a little bit tighter because in the future that's to come, cancer will become a word that you will be all too familiar with. I would also praise her for overcoming these struggles and realizing that there's so much more to live for. Current me is only still learning that it gets better, and if I could, I would hold each version of me tightly in my arms and tell them that it's going to be okay. I would tell them that whatever shit they're dealing with will eventually fade. I would listen to their problems when no one else will and tell them I am still here. And guess what? I am still here. Thank you.